Welcome back to Lost for Words with Lori. It's been a minute. It is Sunday night. It is about 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm getting ready to wind up my weekend and get ready for bed. I hope you all had a great weekend. I've been busy with kittens and work and, basically just taking a little bit of downtime for myself, which is absolutely necessary. I found out, but talking with my therapist and getting feedback from her as far as what, steps I need to take in just becoming the best version of me that I can. We talk about, self-care and taking downtime for yourself. And I find that, I struggle with that. And I know a lot of other people do as well. So I took a little bit of downtime off of the interwebs. I jump in here and there to do the things that are required. But for the most part, I've just been kind of laying low and doing my thing and working. And I got, told you before I was reading a book. So I'm almost done with this book. It's a kind of a progressive online updated book. So I have a tendency to get caught up in that. And as it updates, then I can continue the story. But yeah, so let's clear the air a little bit. Social media is a toxic wasteland, toxic cesspool world, and there's always going to be drama, and we know this. We all know this from all different platforms. But one of the, and I don't try to get too political, but one of the big hot topics lately has been this loan forgiveness, this debt forgiveness that the government's trying to push through for the student loans. And regardless, I didn't go to college. I didn't have student loans. I don't have any stake in the game or any reason to care about it. But I've seen a lot of people weigh in on it because that's what people do on the internet. They see something and then they get their 2 cents in, and then there's a big, conflict, and everybody has to fight over their opinion being right or wrong or whatever. And I kind of got sucked into that a little bit, not necessarily because of the subject matter, but because of watching people, and this isn't even on my page, this was on a mutual friend's page, but watching people get butthurt about things and barging into other people's platforms with an opinion and then backpedaling and getting defensive when other people don't agree with them or call them out for being aggressive and bullying and going in there with a mission to just be a douchebag. And it got me thinking about these whiners, just wah, 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 watermelon. Here's a fucking juice box, seriously. Some people will look for a reason to complain about anything, even if it doesn't affect them. And it's frustrating to see when you're trying to push a positivity movement or to push an encouragement or to push people to think outside the box and learn better behaviors, to see people crying and boo-hooing and bitching and enabling their bad behavior and keep participating in it, and then justifying the bad behavior by using religion as an example. This was kind of what the big deal was I had shared a meme actually that I had stolen from somebody else on Twitter. And, people using religion or mental illness or a disability or whatever is marginalizing them to justify the fact that they're behaving terribly. And then they think that it's okay. Oh, well, I'm a God-fearing Christian, so I can go bully and harass other people. Or, I have ADHD, which I personally do, and therefore that, for some reason, gives them a justification for being a dick. Or even being disabled. And, I'm not an ableist. Whatever. I have my own issues health-wise. But even if I was blind, say, or deaf or had my own disability, it seems that people like to use that as a shield or as a way to hide behind bullying and harassment and justifying that bad behavior. And I'm sorry, guys, but all of those things are just an excuse to not be accountable for your shit. I mean, period. I see people sitting around crying on the interwebs about it's not fair and, it's a bad look and boo-hoo and jealousy and envy is not a good look on anybody, boo-boo. And I hate to tell you this, but life's not fair. You know, I spent my lifetime telling my daughter that life's not fair and get a fucking helmet. And it may not be the best way to tell somebody that they're basically being an entitled shithead, but if the shoe fits, man, lace that shit up and wear it. It's frustrating to watch people backpedal in hypocrisy by saying, I don't like this behavior and I'm not going to do it anymore, but then turn around and do it and call it something else. And I'm sorry, but to me that's just not okay, you know. And I argued that point before. If you call something a duck, if it looks like a duck and acts like a duck, it's a duck, right? So you could call it a, you know, a beak-billed, you know, web swimmer, and it's still a fucking duck. And that's the way I feel about all this behavior. People are saying, well, you know, I'm not doing hate or drama, it's awareness. I'm sorry, but if you're slandering other people and talking shit about other people, it's still the same thing. It's drama. And that's, I'm sorry, from my perspective, that's the way I look at it. You have a choice to be transparent, to establish boundaries, and teach people how you want to be treated, and not participate in that behavior, regardless. And I get it, man. I get it. Oh, so-and-so used my name, or so-and-so's talking shit about my friends. And your first instinct is to react and to get angry and defend. And I understand that humans do that, and it takes a great deal of self-discipline to stop reacting, to step back. I have a 24-hour rule. When I'm angry about something, I give myself 24 hours to really think about it, and I journal, and I write notes, and I connect with my personal support group, not to gossip about it, but to vent out what I'm feeling. And then when I'm not angry anymore, then I decide how to respond. And is it worth my time? Is my 5 minutes of anger going to change anybody's perspective or change their opinion or make them behave better? Probably not. And then you have a choice of how you react to that. And if you make good choices and stop whining about the failures that you or somebody else has made, and if you want to be a good human, you make better choices. You be authentic. You learn and grow from your mistakes in your past. You don't keep repeating the same bad behavior and then crying, wah, you know. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. And I see a lot of people trying really hard to acknowledge bad behavior and tell people that's not acceptable. And those people who claim that they want an end to this will continue to change the name and call it something else. And then use that as a justification. This isn't this, this is this. I'm sorry, it looks like a duck. And I smell fish. And I'm kind of tired of it. I've been grateful that there are a handful of people who are following through with that commitment and who are going back to the original mission and model and really going back into their head and going, why did I start doing this on the interwebs in the first place? Did I do it for drama? Did I do it for attention? Did I do it for this? And going back to the original reason they started doing it, and that was for content. And they're making videos, and their live streams are positive, and they're hanging out and having fun and playing games and doing what they do best and creating the atmosphere that they always wanted. And that was the opportunity that everyone had. Not, you know, continue to talk shit and create more lines in the sand, because it's a never-ending battle and struggle, and you have choices to not participate. Just like if you're asked to play a game, you know, a chess, checkers, football, whatever, and you don't feel like it, you have a choice to say no, and then make good choices and not care about other people doing what they do that's negative. You know, misery loves company, and if you want to wear the victim blanket, you can wrap yourself up in it and choose to stay in the circle of self-destruction that you want for until you pretty much kill your channel or whatever it is that you do. People lose respect. They realize that your actions are speaking louder than your words, and that kind of hypocrisy doesn't work for them, and they'll make a decision to stop attending. And then, honestly, people, you only have yourselves to blame for that. So, like I said, I'm tired of all the excuses of people using to not be accountable for their shit. I've seen a lot of people be accountable for their behavior. But if you're going to be accountable and show good change, then you have to stop repeating the mistakes that you made to get to the point where you are. End of story. You know? Own your shit. And stop acting like kindergartners who just need juice boxes and cookies and when. Ugh. It's old, it's disgusting, and it's boring. But that's all I had to say. Just stop already. Quit using excuses. Own your shit. And you know what I always say? Wash your fucking hands and be a good human. I'll see y'all next time.